So, as everybody should know by now, Kendrick just came out with a new snippet, right? And it's on DJ Dahi's next project, which honestly sounds fire so far. Because I'm not big on Childish Gambino, but even Childish Gambino's snippet for his contribution on the album sounds crazy. You feel what I'm saying? So I kind of got the vibe on where they're going with this album, and I think it's gonna be amazing. It's supposed to be coming out August 28th. Now, I could get on here and try to break down this snippet, but honestly, I do feel like with hearing the lyrics and the approach, it would be almost like, I don't want to say irresponsible, but it would just be like, it wouldn't be doing good work, in my opinion, to break down the song right now and only about a minute and 30 seconds of it has come out. And it's such a deep, layered song. You can already tell there's a concept and a connection to everything that's going on within this song. And I have ideas of what this looks like and where this is coming from, but I don't think it needs a breakdown right now. I think it's best for me to just wait. What I will speak on though is that I think once again, when Kendrick is doing these things and these songs are coming out, etc., like a lot of people aren't really able to understand, but there's always a new lesson that's being given to creatives, in my opinion, whenever Kendrick is delivering some of his art, whether that's through his own albums, through features, through whatever. If you're really paying attention, there's always something that could be shown there, right? And the one thing that a lot of people say about Kendrick is moments, right? Kendrick is one of those guys who, throughout his career, has been able to create moment after moment after moment. I don't understand how some people use that as something against him. It's kind of odd. But yeah, Kendrick over and over again has been able to create these moments. And the thing about creating moments is, in order to create moments, you have to understand the moment. And there's layers to understanding the moment, right? You could be somebody who understands the moment and therefore you provide exactly what the moment is calling for. And sometimes people leave that to the audience. You'll see a lot of artists really, or really even creators, just creators in general, right? Basically allow the consumer or the audience to dictate what that looks like for the creative. If we go all the way back to Good Kid, Mad City, right? I even remember at the time, and I remember the conversations at the time when Good Kid, Mad City had came out. It was like, yeah, this is amazing, classic, but like, what does Kendrick do next? And I think some of us felt like, okay, I think Kendrick is gonna continue, maybe just a harder West Coast album, maybe more West Coast features. Maybe this time you go get Cube. Maybe this time you go get Cube, Snoop, and some more. You know what I'm saying? And keep putting on for the West. So when Kendrick came back with To Pimp a Butterfly, and it was like still West Coast, but just not in the way that you thought it would be, the initial reaction was like, okay, right? And a lot of people think that they're reacting to the quality of the music, when in reality, what they're reacting to is the fact that they wasn't expecting this. So you need time for your ears to shift to what's going on. You need time for that adjustment, right? For the people who wasn't expecting it. I think throughout Kendrick's entire career, he has consistently done this and done it at a high level, right? Where there are times where Kendrick will meet the moment with what the moment requires based on what the audience is asking for. But then sometimes the audience doesn't even know what it wants. And what I mean by that is sometimes you can deliver something to the audience that they didn't know that they wanted until they hear it. Sometimes because of that, it's going to take a while for them to understand where you're going with it, but it still stays within the theme, right? To Pimp a Butterfly is a perfect example. It still stayed within the theme of Kendrick telling this story about his life and where he's at in this moment in time and being reflective and introspective and taking the time to break down where exactly he is in life at that time, right? It's the same thing that we always got from Kendrick, but you just don't expect it in the way that he delivers it. When we look at let's just fast forward to the battle, right? Or even to Mr. Morale. After dropping Damn, right, which is probably his most commercially successful album, you can debate with GNX or whatever. I know the numbers say Damn, but GNX was damn near, you feel what I'm saying? After dropping a commercial, just mega fucking moment like Damn, right? Disappearing for 5 years and coming back with Mr. Morale is like one of the riskiest things that you could possibly do. But the thing is it risky to Kendrick Lamar? Is it risky to Dave Free? Is it risky to TDE? That's the question, right? A lot of the times we as the audience and consumers and creatives who are consuming other creatives, we can look at something and be like, that's not what the people want. That's not what the but it's the projection of what we're personally feeling, right? Like, and when you look at it from that perspective, and you see how people have kind of switched their tone when it comes to Mr. Morale. The reward for following your creative vision, regardless of pressure from the audience, is the fact that you get to be a few steps ahead. The audience gets to catch up. And what that does is it builds a certain level of trust. It builds trust. So even if you hear somebody like a Kendrick do something that initially it doesn't land for you, he's built so much trust as a creative because of his willingness to dive into other directions, or his willingness to dive into trying new things and delivering something that you probably didn't expect, that now you trust that maybe, just maybe, right, there's more to this. And that's the whole thing. And I'm not saying that when I heard the snippet I didn't like it, because I actually love the snippet and I have an idea where Kendrick is going. I feel like we've been getting this idea for a while now, but like I said, we'll wait for the full song to come out, right? My thing is, if you really look at it from that perspective, even for the people, because I've seen some people listen to the snippet and they're like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? And they have their opinions about it. And that's fine. Everybody's going to have their opinion. But even then, they still trust Kendrick. They still trust what he's doing. Because how many times has Kendrick delivered you something that you were not expecting, and you thought that you thought that it was just a bad song, or you thought you didn't enjoy the song, but in reality, you just weren't expecting it. That's the whole point. And the main thing about understanding the moment, think about it. In the battle, right? You had Like That, smash hit. Euphoria, which is really a 7-minute diss track, but it's a hit, bro. Euphoria is a hit. Did you hear? Do you hear how it rings off in these stadiums? Euphoria is a hit. Not Like Us, smash hit. Like one of the biggest hits in hip hop history. For him to follow that with Watch the Party Die, which is this slow, like super, almost like if you weren't really paying attention, you would probably think it was boring type of song, right? And that's only because of the comparison to these other hits. Watch the Party Die is slow. It's kind of boring. Not boring, actually, but in comparison to songs, it's kind of like, you know, even the delivery is just very like, you know what I mean, slow paced, and it's like the complete opposite of what you would expect. Most people are expecting more hits, more high tempo, more high energy, and then he comes to Watch the Party Die, right? And then you thinking, okay, well, shit, he can't Watch the Party Die. Is this how we finna get it? Then the album comes and it's just more smash hits. So this is the ability to understand the moment, but not allowing the moment to dictate what you do with the moment. It's one thing to understand the moment and deliver what you think the moment is calling for, right? It's another thing to understand the moment and deliver what the moment is calling for from your creative vision. Because a lot of people will see the moment and sacrifice their creative vision to meet that moment. But what Kendrick consistently does is he meets the moment through his creative vision, staying true to what his creative vision is and not diving away from that. That's what makes Kendrick special as an artist. You see what I'm saying? Now we fast forward to even all the whole 2025, delivering Chains and Whips, the way the Chains and Whips came out, delivering coming back and getting on Good Flirts, and house money and all this different stuff. Like, then turning around and doing this snippet where it feels more To Pimp a Butterfly-ish. It feels more Untitled-ish, right? I don't really know exactly what to call that type of song, but it feels more of that vein where it sounds like he's speaking. It's called How to Pray, and he's talking about all these different elements of love, prayer, reciprocation between, in my perspective, you and the source. It could be you and it could be interpreted as many things, and that's what's dope about it. Kendrick's music is very open ended, and I feel like wherever you are is kind of how you interpret it. Um, but delivering a song like that right now, when so many people are expecting you to come out bombing on niggas right now, because so many people that's been getting that Kendrick just hasn't said nothing to, that like coming out with this, especially after a song like House Money, we're talking about I Smell Pussy and all this different stuff, and you coming out with this, it's you are in control of the moment. You're not letting the moment control you. You are controlling the moment, not letting the moment control you. It's something that I took into my battle, right? If y'all watch my last video where I'm breaking down my last battle that I won, by the way, for all the people that didn't know. Battle's coming out soon, so a lot of people been asking. It's going to come out individually. That's something I took into the battle. And one of my inspirations was Kendrick, right? Doing what I wanted to do. I knew if I hadn't battled in 3 years, the best thing to do was to come in there and focus on winning the battle, focus on punching a bunch and giving a great show in that moment. But I really wanted to deliver something that was going to stand stand the test of time and stand when people watch it, they could take something from it, even though that felt risky against a battler who punches a lot. In my perspective, that was me saying, I'm in control of the moment. I'm not allowing the moment or what the moment is calling for to dictate what I'm going to do. I'm going to dictate the moment. At the end of the day, I'm the creative, and the consumer is the consumer. The consumer will take what I give them. Whether they take it because they want it or not, at the end of the day, I'm the creator. I'm the one that decides how this goes. I'm the one that steers the ship. We're all on the ship, but I'm steering the ship. And I might take a left where you think I should have took a right. But at the end of the day, you're on the boat. So you're coming with me regardless. And you might complain while we're on the way. You might boom, boom, but you're on that motherfucking ship. So that's kind of like the inspiration I took from Kendrick and many other avenues of artists outside of music. You feel what I'm saying? And to see Kendrick do it again in this way is just a reminder of how inspiring Kendrick is as a creator, and how the influence doesn't have to come from trying to sound like Kendrick, but recognizing like the creative freedom is where the joy and the highest frequency of this really lives. You can have all the success and all of the whatever in the world, but at the end of the day, you get to follow your creative vision and allow people to feel whatever they feel about that. That's where your highest frequency is going to maintain. Even like, and I've been living by that, even in my creative process, and the music I've been creating, everything, I've been living by that. And it shows in my excitement to go to the studio, my excitement to get ready for battles, my excitement to come do the content, my excitement to do everything. And I think Kendrick just gave us another example of what that looks like. And yeah, I love the song so far. I'm super excited to hear the full song because I really want to know what is the concept, what's the full message here, what's going on here, what can I take from this. What and that's another thing that I trust Kendrick to. I trust Kendrick to give me something that's going to widen my perspective. And that's my favorite thing about life, is the ability to learn new things and have a brand new perspective because of those new things. Right? Even if you disagree with it, it's like, yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. I just wanted to get on here and talk to y'all about that. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're newer, especially if you've been here. We back to the regularly scheduled programming. You feel what I'm saying? Once again, the battle will be dropping soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but the battle will be dropping. I also got more than that coming for y'all. You feel what I'm saying? I've been working behind the scenes, so I'm excited for y'all to see what's been going on. And also tap in with the Patreon, man. We just dropped the Black album. I'm going to drop the reaction to the snippet on Patreon, obviously, because you know they're not going to allow you to put on YouTube. So tap in with the Patreon, man. Only $5. You feel me? I'll put the Patreon in the card up here, and I'll put it in the description. So yeah, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Stay true to your creative vision, man. And if you're a creative and you're not creating, create. You got to create, bro. If you're creative and you're not creating, you need to create, bro. You need to create. That's like our life source. That's how we live. Like that's how we understand this life thing, like through creation, for the creatives out there. So if you're not creating and you haven't been creating, or you're a creative who stopped creating, start creating. And stop worrying about if it's going to work. Stop worrying about what people are going to think. Stop worrying about creating it exactly in the way you thought you needed to create it. It's not about that. Just create and have a good time. All right. Love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Especially if you're new, especially if you've been here. I'm going to catch y'all.